So I want you to know that you're not broken, you're not lost, and you're not off. You're most likely meeting a new version of yourself that you haven't experienced yet. And meeting that new version of yourself, that transition feels confusing until it clicks and it makes sense. So, most women think, I don't feel like myself. And when we hear that term, we think that means that there's something wrong with us. Being in a transitional phase feels very like dithery, if I can use a better word. It feels very foreign and it feels very unknown, especially if you've gone through something really hard in your life that brought on a challenge that you weren't expecting, right? It's like the plot twist of life. And I think we need to normalize feeling that way more often. Just because you don't feel like yourself, it doesn't mean something is wrong. And I think we've been taught to assess that it does mean something is wrong. I think we should normalize that feeling and sit in that feeling and understand, how does this feeling actually come up for us when we're going through heartbreak, when we're going through disappointment, when we're going through transition, when we're going through change, burnout, emotional overload, loss. Like, there's so many different factors that we can touch on when we have that feeling coming up for us. I think we need to normalize it and sit in it and understand that we still aren't broken people. We're just trying to catch up to a version of ourselves that we just haven't experienced yet. So, that disconnect that tends to happen, I think, can show in old patterns that maybe don't fit us anymore. I think when you start to go through that transition and that change in your life, you may not do things that you used to do. You can feel a shift happening in you. I was sharing with one of my friends today. I said, you know what? I think I'm going on like week 2 of no coffee and no wine. Today is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. It's a holiday, and commonly I would enjoy a good Cabernet Sauvignon. It's one of my faves, but God has just been doing a work in me lately, and I can't ignore the work that He's doing or what I'm feeling. It's like I don't have a craving for certain things I used to enjoy. I don't have a taste for certain things that I used to enjoy. And I mean, coffee never hurt anybody. I don't think it hasn't hurt me, but I can just tell right now that that's just not the season I'm in. I'm literally drinking hot cocoa. Hot cocoa is the sponsor of this video. I don't know. But yeah, I think like when you are starting to transition and change, if life has shifted faster than your identity could catch up to, then that in between space can tend to feel very weird and feel very off. So that's very normal to experience. But like I said, giving ourselves love and grace and honor in the process is so important. I do have some notes. Of course, I got my notes. I don't want to leave you guys hanging. So I want to touch on a few of these points, but I want to start here. Point 1, you didn't lose yourself. Life changed faster than you could keep up or process. For me, when I was going through probably cancer, this statement proved itself to be true. I literally put on my quote unquote big girl panties and powered through the journey, powered through the appointments, the surgeries, the experience, all the sessions of chemo, because I knew that that's what I needed to do. And it wasn't until a year later where I started to take more time to actually process what happened and process like who I became. So much of me changed in that process. And it was a really huge traumatic experience. It was a huge life shift. There's no manual or blueprint for like how to navigate a diagnosis, to be honest, or how to navigate life after, right? When you're trying to like find yourself and reconnect with yourself and rediscover who you are. There's really like no blueprint for that. So it's almost like you're just kind of taking one foot in front of the other and like trying to figure it out yourself. But that statement, life changed faster than you could keep up or process, is very true, because sometimes we go through things that literally pull the rug from underneath our feet, and we're just trying to keep afloat for that moment and for that time. It's almost a sense of being in survival mode, because we're just trying to get by and stay as present as we possibly can, but we want to do enough to be able to get through the situation and through what's happening. So, giving, once again, like I said, just giving yourself grace. I don't want to be so repetitive when I say that, but like understanding that there is time and space that needs to be given to get back to yourself and reconnect with yourself when you've gone through a process like that. So to feel off is normal, but just know the feeling, yes, is normal, but there's still nothing wrong with you. It's one of the simple facts that something's changed and you're catching up to the change that's occurred. So, bouncing off of that point, like feeling off is a sign you're outgrowing an old version of yourself. When you maybe no longer enjoy doing things that you used to do, or you don't have a taste or an appetite for some things, it's interesting what comes into our life and starts to shift us and grow us, or how we start to mature. I'd even say like spiritual maturity feels very unique right now. I'm in a space and a season, transparently, where I could feel God doing a work and a shift in me. And I think that's also because He was calling me like closer to being in relationship with Him. But I can just feel inside the difference that's starting to happen. My interests, where I feel like, oh, that's small. I don't want to do that. I want to be a better steward of my time. I want to be more mindful of who I give my time to. I want to be more intentional about the spaces that I allow myself to go in, the conversations that I have, the people that I have them with. All of that has become more heightened for me. And I can tell it's because God is changing me. He's transforming me. He's like renewing me. So just knowing that, like, you're not broken, but you're in a space of evolution and evolving, and that is something that never really stops. We're constantly evolving to the next thing, to the next level. And I think evolving too comes when you're healing as well, when you've gone through something and it's changed you or shifted you or even broke your heart and it disappointed you, and now you're picking up those pieces to figure out, like, okay, what woman do I want to become now? What woman do I want to be tomorrow? What woman do I want to work towards? What reality do I want to actually experience for myself? Was this past reality even in alignment with who I am, or was it in alignment with an old season of me? What could I take from that time and bring forward, and what could I see from that period of time that I want to leave behind and leave it there? So, the patterns and people and expectation that used to make sense don't fit anymore. I have my notes on the screen too. And that creates emotional friction until you meet the new you. And then, thirdly, reconnect with yourself by paying attention to what feels true now. This piece is the deep work. This piece takes really great intentionality to reconnect with yourself and figure out what feels true now, what aligns with who you are now and today. I think has required some journaling, some self assessing, some visualizing, um, and being very honest with what feels good. What experiences have I had that feel joyful, that feel like me? What things am I still seeking that align with that feeling? I think oftentimes, we're seeking a feeling that can like articulate the experience that we want to have. And when we figure out what that is, we can walk towards the fulfillment and the desires that we want to be able to have, based off of that. So just notice when you're craving, what you're craving, notice what drains you, what feels peaceful, what doesn't, what feels heavy. That's how you can start meeting the woman you're becoming when you're like shifting and transitioning in this season. All of this is just so interesting to me because I've navigated this space many, many times. When my son passed away, boom, my breast cancer, boom, relationship shifts and changes, boom, moving. I've relocated quite a few times, and I feel like I was in a transitional space or season for for a really long time. And I'm like, I don't know if this is normal, if this should feel or be this long, but there is a process that comes to it. So just knowing that you haven't lost yourself, but when you're evolving into someone new, when you are picking up those pieces to rebuild who you are, when you are trying to just get your footing after life's plot twist and you're trying to regain control in relationship of who you are, these pieces factor in, and let's normalize them, and let's normalize our thoughts around them while still giving ourselves love and grace and care and gentleness and ease and subtleness, because so often some of these processes can come with like self-abandonment. If we do think we're broken, if we do think we're lost, if we do just feel off and it's like, man, I'm not really feeling myself lately, I got a lot coming my way, like stuff coming left and right that I haven't dealt with before. Like, Lord, why is this even happening? Where is this even coming from? Like, why is everything breaking down at once? Why is everything just feels like it's going to pieces all at one time? Like, what is going on? And when we get in those modes, sometimes it'll push us into survival mode. And then that will also push us into a form of self-abandoning. And we really want to continue to love on ourselves. So I think when you have a good understanding of like, hey, this right now is going, I'm becoming somebody different with all of this stuff that is happening right now. I am shifting into someone new, and I need to give myself permission to be able to make that shift and make these changes. And then just give yourself love and grace through this process. So I just wanted to share that. It was on my mind. I would love to hear your thoughts. What season are you in? If any of this resonates with you, definitely meet me in the comments. I look forward to just meeting you guys and connecting with you and like talking to you. If you're not already subscribed, hit the like, comment, subscribe button so we can just build and grow together and have just more of these like candid conversational moments. And Cardi says hi too. I think she's just sleeping. But yeah, so and didn't even introduce myself. Oh my gosh. Okay, y'all. Well, I am Renee, future therapist here, currently in grad school for clinical mental health, a woman that has been down many roads, honey, and has worn many hats. And I am in this space now where it's like God has just built up a resiliency in me, and I want to help other women do the same. Life is going to continually come with shifts and changes and shifts and changes. But I believe when you have a solid foundation and you have a solid toolbox you can pull from when you need to apply to your heart, to your mind, to your emotions, when those shifts and changes come, you're not constantly starting over every single time, right? It's like there's a Bible verse that talks about, I think it talks about like your house being built not on sand, but in a way where it can't be washed away. It's like about the foundation of the house. I hope I'm not misspeaking, but that's just kind of what is coming to mind for me because I mean, listen, I never signed up for the breast cancer thing. I never expected my son to pass away. And so many other things have happened on this journey and transition of life. And with that being said, like, I am not as moved when things happen now because I have learned how to manage and regulate and still feel and still be human and be honest and be realistic and process and be rational and come from so many different angles within the 8 years of building this foundation. Not to say that it's not going to hurt, not to say that it doesn't feel weird sometimes, not to say that, you know, questions may come up and arise like, why me? Why now? What is this? But my house can't be washed away now. It can't be blown away because the foundation is solid. So maybe, you know, maybe a little pebble thrown and a little crack in the window, but it's not going to shatter and it's not going to fall apart in shambles. So I hope this makes sense. Let me know your thoughts. I love to talk through it. And until the next video, I hope y'all have a good holiday. Peace.